Black people are now paying themselves reparations. I'm super excited to announce to you that Bloomberg just wrote an article pretty much saying the same thing we've been saying for about 10 years now, that millions of black people are now starting to use the stock market as a way to make up for lost time, as they say. The title of the article is Black Americans are embracing stocks and Bitcoin to make up for stolen time. And they're talking about all the millions of black people that are now invested in the stock market as a way to pay themselves reparations. So buckle up your seatbelt, get comfortable. I'm going to talk about this real quick with you on the Black Financial Channel. We're going to get started right now. Hey, what's going on, black people? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. We cover financial news and commentary from a black perspective. Black wealth is the only wealth that I care about. And I believe the black community comes first. I believe that we need to take care of ourselves before we take care of anybody else, and that we can solve our own problems. If you agree with this philosophy, put a hashtag B1 in the chat, hashtag B1. Also hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button. Hashtag B1 is a hashtag we use all throughout the internet to say that we're tired of saving other people. We're tired of solving other people's problems. We're tired of working for other people. We're tired of lifting everybody else on our back. We're trying to lift ourselves up. So anyway, with that being said, I saw this article in Bloomberg that just tickled me, just tickled my little black butt. And it was all about wealth and equality. And basically what they're saying is, surprise, surprise, black Americans are embracing stocks and Bitcoin to make up for stolen time. Here's what they said in Bloomberg. They said, in the real world and increasingly online, they are pushing their followers to take bolder steps to create wealth. This includes investing in stocks and even cryptocurrencies. Part of their argument is that black Americans need to make big moves to make up for stolen time. For over a century after emancipation, institutional policies ranging from Jim Crow segregation to modern day redlining have disenfranchised black people from building generational wealth. Today, black Americans hold just 3.8% of 116 trillion in wealth in the U.S., according to data from the Federal Reserve. Now, I'm going to ask you a quick question. I'm about to do a humble brag here. We're going to do a humble brag. You know how somebody takes a picture in front of a Mercedes and then they say blessed, like Jesus blessed me with this Mercedes. I'm going to do a humble brag. For those of y'all that been in this game, that been here for a minute, have we or have we not been talking about this for well over a decade? How many of y'all remember back in 2008, 2007, 2009, 2012, when I was writing articles telling you that the best way to get your reparations is to become an investor and to create an investing culture in your household? Now, again, I was able to be ahead of the curve. My PhD's in finance, but have we or have we not been very consistently saying, even before the rappers were saying it, even before the celebrities were saying it, even before mainstream media was saying it, that this was the pathway for black people to get ahead? Has that not been the consistent message on this space? So I'm kind of proud. I'm kind of excited when I read this article because, you know, sometimes some of our folks don't get on board early because they're too scared. They don't understand. They're a little nervous doing stuff that's not being promoted on TV. But you know, so maybe they need mainstream media to tell them that it's okay for them to be liberated. Maybe they need mainstream media to tell them that it's okay to be black. Maybe they need mainstream media to tell them that it's okay to take care of your family and that you can do it yourself. But I'll tell you what, we've been on this. Y'all know we've been on this, and I've been debating internet trolls for years. You know, Negroes that think black folks can't build nowhere. Black people can't. Black people ain't got no. You need capital for capital. You can't do. Shut up, idiot. Investing is the key to economic power in a capitalist society. Getting in that stock market and I've looked at the data. I've been doing research on this. I've written academic research papers on this topic. And to write an academic research paper, you literally must be on the frontier of human thought. You cannot write a paper that's simply regurgitating something you read in a book. This must be something new. So I was writing papers on this stuff 20 years ago. And when I saw this in the research I was doing and in the studies I was doing, when I'm going through the data, I said, holy crap, if black people embrace investing as a culture, we are going to flip this whole wealth thing on its head. Now, let me put one thing into context. I got a meeting in a few minutes, so I don't have too much time for my humble brag. Maybe later on I'll come back and brag a little more because, we are B1, which makes us the best, right? We are number one. B standing for B4, one meaning number one. So I'm very proud of us right now. Very proud of us. But let me talk about this one comment they make about blacks having only 3.8% of the $116 trillion of wealth that exists in America. Well, 3.8% of 116 trillion is about $4.4 trillion in wealth. You ain't out of the game, man. That's not an abysmal, horrible number. There are countries that don't have $4 trillion in wealth, right? So you are actually right now as a community, right where you're at, you are wealthier than most countries on this planet. If you throw in the 1.4 trillion in income you get every year, and if you reinvest that money on a consistent basis, and you do that for a decade or two, you're going to be killing the game. You might not ever be ahead of white folks, but who cares? You ain't trying to compete with them. They're not your basis for comparison. They're not the ultimate benchmark. They're not your gods. Stop comparing yourself to other people and just compare yourself to your best self. Compare yourself to yourself. That's what matters. So what I want to see is this. Here's what I want to see. There's this concept in corporate America and investing called a plowback ratio. And let me tell you again, I'm a mathematician. My master's was in mathematics. My PhD's in finance. And one of the things that we did mathematically, when we would break down the equations that will tell you how your wealth will grow, we have mathematical equations that will break down how much wealth you will have after a certain number of years. The same way, if you tell me you're going down the road at 80 miles an hour, I can tell you how far you'll be if you drive in a straight line for the next 3 hours, right? So with these equations, the plowback ratio is this. It measures what percentage of your income are you reinvesting into your business. The more you reinvest in your business, the faster your business will grow. That's called a plowback ratio. So if you have a high plowback ratio, then your business will grow fast because you're investing 80 cents out of every dollar, 60 cents out of every dollar. If you have a low plowback ratio, then you're not going to grow very fast because you are so focused on making money in the present that you're not trying to position yourself to make more money in the future. So you see the plowback ratio applied in the lives of people that you know. Your friend who saves 60% of her check is going to have more money 10 years from now than the person who saves 2% of their check. I had a friend who was making about 70 grand a year. She saved 60% of every paycheck. She's now a millionaire about 12 years, 13 years later. So my point is to say that plowback ratio is what allows you to actually build in the future. It's basically saying, if you eat an apple, how many of those seeds do you plant versus how many seeds do you throw away or eat or sell or whatever, right? So for the black people, here's the deal. 1.4 trillion a year is a lot of money. 1.4 trillion is a ton of money. If the plowback ratio, meaning that if black people are as a condition and as a habit in reinvesting, say 10 to 15% of their income, and as a community, on average, we're reinvesting 10 to 15% of our income, then that 4.4 trillion in wealth expands and explodes over the next decade or two. That means that our kids in the next generation are not the broke kids. They're not the struggling kids. They're not the ones who are going to school with their shoes with holes in their shoes. These become the middle and upper middle class kids, the upper class kids. These are the wealthy kids. These are the ones who get Mercedes Benzes on their 16th birthday. These are the ones who own businesses at an early age, so they don't even have to think about student loans. College is optional because they're already making 85, 100, 200, $300,000 a year, right? So that's what your future looks like if you continue down this path. I'm telling you that I don't want reparations. I want real reparations. They ain't been giving you reparations. They've been giving you fake-arations. And again, they won't give you reparations for slavery, but they'll give you preparations for slavery because they spend their whole life in the media preparing you to become slaves to capitalism. Do not do that. Continue down this path. That's what's going to make you successful. I don't have much time. I literally have a meeting. I'm doing my own plowback ratio because I've been investing my whole life, and that's why we're not hurting for money in our family. And so what I want you to do is I want you to keep doing what you're doing. Be proud of yourselves. And I'm going to come back later and finish talking about this. But right now I got to run to this meeting. So hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button before you get out of here. And if you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock yet, or you want to get free information from the Black Business School, go sign up at firstshareofstock.com. That's the URL on the screen. That's firstshareofstock.com. I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. And again, I'll come back and talk about this a little bit later. See you soon. Peace.